Resting peacefully off the shores of Grand Lake St. Mary's, we come to you from Celina, Ohio, as the city of green and white welcomes the Redskins to town. It's the 5-1 Wapakoneta Redskins and the 4-2 Celina Bulldogs, and it's next on Game Face Ohio.
You're on the go and don't have time for cords to be tying you down. That's why TSC created the Cord Cutter Bundle. You get big savings for bundling internet and cable, and there's no phone requirement. Choose from 20 megabyte, 50 megabyte, or 100 megabyte speeds. No phone, minimal TV, and all lightning fast internet. Ask about the Cord Cutter Bundles and come home to TSC.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Hello, Frost Roofing.
Frost Roofing holds the same core values our company was founded upon nearly 9 decades ago. We proudly provide quality craftsmanship and top-notch service to each client we serve. We're licensed by several major roofing manufacturers to give you the right recommendations at the best value for your investment. With state-of-the-art equipment, cutting-edge technology, and our honest way of doing business, Frost Roofing is our area's preferred commercial roofing experts. To learn more, visit frost-roofing.com or call 419-739-ROOF.
Week 7 of TSC Touchdown Friday. Eli Alvarez and Paul Sadler here with you, and we welcome you into the Minster Bank pregame show. Well, Paul, Week 7 high school football, Week 6 of Western Buckeye League play, and we've got two teams tonight still battling for a shot at the title.
Yeah, there's WBL and playoff implications on here tonight, and this has been a tremendous rivalry over the last few years. Last year's matchup went into overtime where Celina was able to pull out a 6-point victory at Harmon Field, and we look for another great one tonight.
Take a closer look at the visitors, the Wapakoneta Redskins, 5-1 overall, 4-1 in the WBL.
Yeah, they bring in the top defense in the WBL. They're only surrendering 216 yards and 11 points per game. They also feature 2 running backs averaging 100-plus yards a game, good enough for top 5 status in the WBL.
And our player to watch for the red and white tonight, it's the senior, Riley Gibson.
Yeah, we're going to go with Riley, a two-way standout that's transitioned very successfully from wide receiver to running back on offense. He's one of those 100-yard-a-game runners, currently in the top 5 in the WBL, has 5 touchdowns, and leads the WBL, averaging 10.8 yards a carry.
Looking at the home team, the Celina Bulldogs, they're 4-2 on the year overall, 3-2 in the Western Buckeye League, and a tough loss to Defiance last week.
Yeah, they were out to a 4-1 start and then kind of stubbed their toe last week and kind of, well, you might consider an unexpected loss to a surprising Defiance Bulldog team, but still there's a lot of what they need to accomplish in front of them. They have a high-powered offense that leads the WBL in rushing and total yardage, and they've scored in the 40s or 50s in their 4 wins, but have only scored in the teens in their 2 losses, so they're looking for a little bit of more consistency.
And the leader of that high-powered offense is our player to watch for the Bulldogs, the quarterback, Brett Schwederman.
Yeah, returning starter, senior Brett Schwederman. He is currently 3rd in the WBL passing with 819 yards, and he's 9th in the WBL in rushing at 485 yards, as he is a dual-threat quarterback and will also run a good amount of option.
Looking at our keys to the game for the Wapakoneta Redskins, Paul.
Okay, Wapak, we're going to start off by saying it's strength versus strength. Again, the #1 defense in points and yards against the #1 offense and rush of Celina. So, interesting matchup. And to do that, they need to win the line of scrimmage and then sustain their drives.
And our keys to the game for the Bulldogs.
They want to win first down and stay ahead of the chains. They need to get off the field defensively and don't let Wapak have those long, sustained drives. And they got several playmakers, including Schwederman and Kyle Zilmerman and Chase Stevens, and those playmakers need to make plays for them tonight.
It's a great night for football, and we come back, we'll have the first half kick. You're watching Game Face Ohio.
sometimes you just don't want to get out of your car. That's why TSC has made it easy for you to pay your bill. We have drive-up payment drop boxes at our St. Mary's and Wapakoneta offices. Just pull in, drive around, and drop off your payment. Just one more convenience to show you how much we appreciate you.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Friday night, under the lights, two top teams collide. The battle ahead will be fierce, and only one will be victorious. It's time to rise!
Week 7 of high school football here on Game Face Ohio. Eli Alvarez, Paul Sadler with you. Sitting next to the Celina Fieldhouse, Celina football field. What a great historic venue, and it's a great night for football as well, Paul.
Yeah, it's a very unique setting. You know, you got the trees on the one end, you're enclosed by the field house on the other end, very, very intimate. The press box, you know, right above us.
As you can see the forecast for tonight's game, and the sun has just gone down over the bleachers, so it makes everybody happy here.
Yeah, and even though it says 0% chance of rain, we did get a ton of rain this afternoon. So it doesn't look that muddy out there, but it does not mean that there can't be some slick spots that we'll kind of keep an eye out for.
The Bulldogs will kick off first, meaning we will see the Redskins offense. And it's an offense this year that right now is second in the Western Buckeye League in points per game, 37 points per game for Coach Moyer's squad.
Which it's the most important at doing through the points, but if you just look at their individual numbers, you know, offensively passing wise, you know, they rank dead last in the Western Buckeye League, but they are third in rushing behind St. Mary's and this Celina.
It'll be the sophomore, Austin Cotterman, to kick it deep for the Bulldogs. He does the punting and the kicking. And the 6'3 sophomore is going to boot this one down to about the 20-yard line. It's going to be fielded by Chambers. Try to dance it around, and he'll come up to the 25, and that's where the offense will take over.
And Brady Erb, his second season as starting signal caller for Wapak, going to lead the offense out. Take a look at their starters. Very senior-laden team. Some returning starters on the offensive line. Brendan Kenevi, two-way starter. Nate Ambus. Isaac Meeks, a returning starter there at tight end.
Erb will go under center. Gibson and Keck in the backfield with him. It's going to go to Evan Keck, and Keck's going to move his legs forward, and a nice pickup on first down.
And no AJ this week, but we'll say it for him. You know, that's Thunder of the Thunder and Lightning duo, with Keck and Gibson both average over 100 yards a game. And, you know, they want to make sure that they get them going early on.
Going into last week's game against Bath, they sat at number 1 and number 3 in rushing yards in the Western Buckeye League. Considering they didn't play in the second half of that one, they dropped down to 4th and 5th rushing-wise, as Erb's going to throw this one to Gibson. A nice catch as he tiptoes the sideline and gets pushed out.
And Gibson, again, transitioned from a wide receiver last year. He's got some good hands. and you know, he made a nice catch that he had to go up and get. Mentioned the Celina defense here. The pretty young core do they have. They only have 4 returning starters. That starts only 3 seniors, 5 juniors, and 3 sophomores. Their leading tackler is number 30, Luke Mullenkamp.
Herb from the shotgun will keep it himself after the fake. Herb trying to make a man miss. Nice stiff arm right into the face of Chase Stevens.
But there is a flag behind the play, and it's going to be a hold, so that's going to nullify the nice run by Brady Herb. And Brady, you know, we saw him last week, you know, explode for a 45-yard touchdown run early in the game versus Bath. You know, he, I think, has surprised some teams as they're focusing on Keck and Gibson, and Herb is athletic enough to where he can hurt you too.
It was the first of 2 rushing touchdowns for Herb last week, as we've got a first down and 15 to go. Ball at the 31-yard line as Keck and Gibson once again in the backfield.
Moving Gibson over there to more of a wingback position, and that's going to be a flag.
False start going against Wapak.
So back-to-back penalties for the Wapak Redskins.
After what was a promising first play, Evan Keck picking up about 5 yards. They've gone backwards ever since.
Well, the one positive thing is it's still first down. You know, the bad thing is it's first and about 20.
So Herb will go under center once more. Hand it off to Keck, Evan Keck. Good luck bringing him down as he's still moving the pile down just shy of the 40.
Yeah, and that was Luke Mullenkamp that hit him about the 30-yard line with first initial contact, and he didn't end up getting him down to about the 38-yard line with help.
So that sets up now a second and very manageable after the 2 penalties.
Yeah, about a 12-yard gain that time to get back most of that penalty yardage.
Ball spotted at the 38 officially. Gibson's going to go in motion, but they give it to Keck right up the middle. Keck again moving the pile forward, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and short.
Seeing something they like, going back to that trap once again.
This is a Wapak offense, Paul, that coming into this one, 5th in the Western Buckeye League in total offense, just over 2,000 yards. But it's been the defense for the Redskins. It's been their bread and butter. First in the WBL, giving up just 11 points per game.
And despite those 2 penalties, a 3rd and a very reasonable here with a 3rd and 2.
Herb will send Meeks in motion. He'll give it right back to Keck, trying to follow his blockers, and he puts his shoulder down, keeps the legs moving, and he's got a first down.
I tell you what, that was a nice play by Keck because Celina looked like they stoned Wapak at the line of scrimmage, and he was able to find a gap, get his shoulder pads forward, and then get a really nice gain.
One of your keys to the games for the Redskins, win the line of scrimmage.
And Keck, after kind of dominating the carries here on the early, on getting a well-earned rest.
So a first down and 10, ball just across midfield as Herb will go with an empty look in the shotgun.
Don't see this look a whole lot.
Chambers
from,
in
Wapak.
motion. Herb's going to keep it up the middle, breaking tackles, finally brought down just shy of the first down.
Well, that little trend breaker, the first thing that you have to defend is the formation. And then from that formation, then you get your kind of tendencies that teams do. So when you have 5 receivers, in that case, you know, 4 receivers and a tight end, you have to go and cover those guys first and then kind of match up. And once they did that, they had a little bit of an advantage between the tackles and was able to get some yardage with the quarterback run.
Herb will go back under center for the 2nd down and 3. And we've got flags flying before the snap. And it looks like we've got an offsides going against
Wapak.
Wapak, yeah.
So for that to happen, that wouldn't be the same as a false start. They would have lined up in the neutral zone. I don't know if Coach Moyer, Travis Moyer, in his 5th year here at Wapak, kind of asking for an explanation. Not sure if he's happy about it, but he is moving on.
So it was 2nd and 3, make it 2nd and 8.
By the way, we have this unique camera angle as we take a look at Celina's. coaching staff. Unique angle here at the press box, kind of almost looking down on the action.
Gibson's going to get the handoff, looking for some room. He's going to come really close to that first down. It'll depend on the spot.
That's his second touch. He had the catch, and that was his first run. And again, the lightning part of the Thunder and Lightning, averaging nearly 11 yards a carry, which is unbelievable.
Gibson 5th in the Western Buckeye League in rushing yards.
Here's the press box itself that we talked about, which doesn't sit behind the stands like they normally do. It sits directly on top of the stands. In fact, you're actually overhanging the stands by a little bit.
Gibson's going to get the ball back on 3rd down. He's got enough for the first down and then some.
So despite 3 penalties, the Wapak Redskins have been able to overcome those and move the chains, and now have very good field position at the 35-yard line of the Bulldogs.
Well, coming into this contest, Paul, Wapak was the 4th most penalized team in the Western Buckeye League. They've got 40 penalties now on the year for just over 310 yards. Herb will go under center on 1st down. Ball at the 35. Keck going to get the carry. Keck spinning forward. We've got a penalty marker down after a nice pickup. We'll see if this one's coming back.
Let's say another flag. This is going to be a sideline warning on Celina, though. So that's a good old-fashioned, hey, just don't do that again. Next time it would be an actual penalty of yardage if that happens. But, you know, this is a very tight stadium. There's not a whole lot of sideline to wander here.
Well, that's a rare penalty flag. The Bulldogs are the 2nd fewest penalized team yardage-wise in the WBL.
Well, they still are, because that was a penalty of 0 yards.
Herb's going to keep this one after the fake. Play action. He's going to be brought down in the backfield, held on to it just a little too long.
Yeah, and I think he wanted Gibson going down the seam, and he just didn't have enough time. Luke Molenkamp, the leading tackler for this Bulldog defense, was right into him, so just not quite enough time to be able to get that pass off. Gibson was covered, but he's a good enough athlete. Sometimes you want to throw it up there and see if you can make a play. But that negative play now puts them in what they don't want to be, a 3rd and long.
3rd and 12 to be exact. Ball at the 37. So they'll go to the shotgun with Keck next to Herb. Dropping back, has pressure, trying to get rid of it down the field. Meeks wide open, but he dropped it, and that was 6 points in his hands, but he couldn't make the catch.
Oh, that's got to be a heartbreaker right there. A tremendous pass, wide open. Nice call by the coaching staff, and you know he's going to look back and kind of wish he had that one back.
Almost happened in slow motion. He had too much time to think about it.
You know, you're very well right.
So a 4th and 12.
Yeah, but a breakdown in coverage by Celina.
The offense stays out there for Coach Moyer. Now they're going to switch. So maybe Herb's going to punt this one away. That's exactly what he's going to do. No one back for the Bulldogs. They're going to hope this one rolls, and you talked about the rain. That one just stuck in the ground, but the Bulldogs will take over at the 10.
Yeah, and you can just tell a little bit, looking at some of the uniforms already, are starting to get a little bit more muddier than you'd expect to here this early in the ball game. So it might be a little bit soft out there, but still, considering, yeah, it looks like to be in pretty good shape. So the Celina offense, as mentioned, is tops in the WBL in total yardage and in rushing, averaging nearly 322 yards a game running the ball with 21 touchdowns. Sweeterman, the quarterback we've already mentioned at the top, Kyle Zizelman, number 22, is their leading rusher.
Speaking of Zizelman, he's going to get the carry here, and a solid pickup for him. Zizelman with that carry is now over 600 yards on the year.
So, but he's not the only one. Chase Stevens, who plays kind of their slot receiver, has 340 yards, and we see the starting defense there for Wapak as we have yet another penalty, again on the offense, but this time it's Celina lining up off sides. So
that'll put them in even worse field position.
So, and again, Wapak, we saw the starters. Again, they lead the WBL in total defense and in for yards and for points. They're third against the rush, only surrendering 112 yards on the ground. So, again, strength versus strength on the field right now.
Showing why with that nice tackle there, bringing up a 3rd down and 8. And for two teams that offenses average 37 and 36 points per game, so far the defense has held to this point. We are still early into the first quarter.
So, and Schwederman can throw the ball a little bit too.
Schwederman's going to send Zizelman out wide, and that's exactly who he goes to. Stretching forward into that puddle. Water flying everywhere, but did he get enough for the 1st down? Looks like he may be short, but it'll depend on the spot.
Well, we knew that there's a lot of rain. We had don't have that vision of that until just that play right there. And yeah, there's some wet areas on the field there, Eli.
And it will be a 4th down.
Here's a little replay of the puddle. Whew. Well, if we would have played this game, about 2 o'clock today, the entire field probably would have been like that.
Yep. And they were out here before the game with brooms trying to push the water off of the sideline.
So, yeah, it just must be a low area there. But, kind of more importantly, they are held at 4th and just short, 4th and 1. And they're going to put out, Brandon Bader puts out his punt team.
With 1 second, they get the snap off. Cotterman's punt is a high one, but not very good, as it's going to stop at the 45, and the distance much to be desired there. So the Wapak offense will take over great field position, Paul.
Yeah, about 25-yard punt right there. And we're going to take a look at the WBL standings as we see St. Mary's up top undefeated. Wapak still controls their own destiny. If they win out, including playing the Rough Riders in Week 10, they could still win the WBL with no help. Celina, does have 2 losses in the league. They need to win out and also hope for a little bit of help.
Second chance for this offense here tonight. Gibson's going to get the carry. Gibson trying to find a hole, and he does, but only for about 2 yards. And the interesting thing about those standings we look at, Paul, obviously there's still 3 weeks left to be played, but there's a possibility the Western Buckeye League may be sending multiple teams to the playoffs this year.
Yeah, there's that one website that kind of uses math to figure out who's going to make it and so forth. Right now they think that 4 teams are going to make it in the Western Buckeye League, and that doesn't include the Celina team, which if they win their games and they have a tough stretch coming out, they could easily make it too.
Herb's going to keep it. Wise decision as he stumbles forward for what looks like a 1st down. They will move the chains. So the second timeout, the penalty flags have been kept in the pocket of the officials, and the offense moving the ball pretty well so far. Herb will come out in the shotgun with Keck next to him. This time, he gives it to Keck. Keck breaking tackles. It takes 3 Bulldogs to bring him down. Nice pickup.
Okay, and they were just kind of running the read right there, but Celina had them outnumbered. There were 3 green jerseys there to get those 2 white jerseys, and Keck was able to find a gap and just make himself tough to be tackled.
He brought it up to make it a 2nd and 4. Ball at the 29. Herb is going to give it to Gibson. Gibson got some blockers, found a hole, but tripped over his own player, and it's still enough for the 1st down.
Austin Cotterman able to get in there to be able to make the play. So good enough for a 1st down.
And as you mentioned, very muddy out there. The white uniforms of Wapak showing it right now. This is one of those games where afterwards you can tell who played and who didn't.
Yep.
As the clock continues to run now, 2:45 remaining in the first quarter. Herb from under center, back to Evan Keck. Keck up the middle. Again, he pushes that pile. From point of contact, he gains what seems to be 2 or 3 more yards almost every time out.
And these conditions might be more suited to him. Usually, the more physical type of runners tend to excel a little bit more than, the quick speed-based guys here in muddy conditions.
Second down. Redskins will run again to Evan Keck. Evan Keck with some room. Evan Keck into the end zone for the touchdown. Walpock takes the lead.
It would not be denied that time. Made a nice little cut once he broke the hole for his 10th touchdown of the year. Here we can see another quick little trap, and that little cut there enabled Keck to get into the end zone, and Walpock is the first to score.
It'll bring out Tristan Gessler, the senior, 20 for 20 on point after attempts this year. Trying to make it 7-0 early. Gessler's kick on its way, and it's through the upright. 7-0. Walpock leads it early here in Celina. Back with more after this.
Have you heard about TSC's referral program? Refer your friends and family and you both get a credit matching the services they chose. That's right, we'll credit your invoice. There's no limit to the number of friends you can refer. So come back to your local hometown provider and bring your friends and family with you. We'll reward you both.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
So Evan Keck gives the Redskins the early 7-0 lead with a 19-yard rush here in the first quarter. And on their second play or second drive of offense, they were able to get things going. It's amazing how smooth your offense can run when the penalty markers aren't flying.
Yeah, you don't want to be your own worst enemy out there. It's tough enough going against people that are trying to stop you. You don't want to stop yourself.
The Bulldogs will patiently await the kick from Luke Beat. Jordan Song is back with Molenkamp to field it. Beat from the 40-yard line. It's a nice line drive. It's going to be fielded by Molenkamp at around the 3-yard line. Now looking for a good return. The special teams unit for Walpock gets down there and denies them of it.
Now I mentioned that there's kind of a more inexperienced unit on defense for Celina. Their offense is a different story. Their offense has 8 senior starters, including against Sweeterman, Zizelman, Stevens, Cooper Jones, returning starter, although he's only a sophomore. They got several weapons that they'll throw the ball to. They spread it around. We'll see again, the field conditions might affect that a little bit, but this is again an offense that has scored in the 40s and 50s 4 out of 6 games so far this year.
Zizelman going nowhere on that carry as the defense swarms to him.
It's Brennan Kneve. That would be his 8th tackle for loss, which puts him in the team lead. Him and Isaac Meeks are kind of in a little bit of a back and forth for the team lead for tackles for loss for Walpock.
And Paul, we got to see Brett Schwieterman last year as a junior twice when they played Walpock and St. Mary's, much like we will again this year, as he completes this one out into the flats to Cooper Jones, into the puddle once more.
I don't know what's better, the big splash going in the puddle or the crowd oohing and on when it happens.
But for my money, from the 2 games we saw last year from Schwieterman, he, along with Johnny Caprella and Isaac McAdams from last year from Elida, one of the best scrambling quarterbacks in the league.
Here we'll see a replay there. You can see Reed Miracle had to come out as his helmet came off in during that tackle. But yeah, you mentioned before, Schwieterman, very skilled And if you remember last year's game, so he is missing a couple of his top weapons. You know, Cole Merlin and then Dylan Hoying was a Redskin killer last year.
Schwederman now is going to use his feet, and he's showing how explosive he can be as he picks up the first down.
And Keck with the tackle, a little flare there at the end too.
And maybe the numbers don't back up how explosive Schwederman can be as far as the overall rushing goes in the Western Buckeye League. Nate Place from Van Wert, their quarterback, sits at number 1 rushing right now. But not only can he rush, he can throw, as this time he's going to hand it off to Zisselman. He's going to pick up maybe 1.
Well, when they're at their best, this is a very balanced offense for Celina. You know, Schwederman has thrown for over 800 yards, but they also lead the league in rushing. And again, it's not just 1 or even 2 people. You know, they have 3 guys that rush the ball quite a bit. And they got several guys that they throw it to. You know, Austin Oakley has 17 catches on the year. Stevens has 15 catches on the year, as that brings the end of the quarter.
All right, so after 1, Redskins lead it 7-0 here from Celina. Back after this.
Come out to Astro Lanes in the Loft Bar and Grill, where you can find great food, good drinks, fun games, and of course, bowling. Astro Lanes, a great place to spend some spare time.
Strength is about so much more than the body. It's about being together, serving, sharing, and caring for those around us. It's about keeping score in the heart rather than on a scoreboard. Be a part of a community that builds more than your body. At the Wapakoneta Family YMCA.
Well, we were expecting a lot of offense in that first quarter, only 1 touchdown, but great defensive play and sloppy field conditions, the main reason for that.
Yeah, if we can see the back of this guy's jersey right now for it to be 1 quarter, we're not, if it's not for his long hair, I'm not sure we'll be able to recognize him from the back.
Evan Keck stand out for the Redskins as we flipped into the field, start in the second quarter, and Isaac Meek starts it with a bang.
And as I mentioned, the friendly competition in tackles for loss, Isaac Meeks just retook the lead because they do half tackle for losses. That is his 8.5 tackle for loss on the year, and he's the new team leader.
Kyle Zisselman didn't know what hit him.
So, and this brings up a 3rd and 11 for Celina, and they're kind of desperate to kind of get their offense going.
Schwederman looking to throw it out into the flats, and he does. It's completed the song, but he's not going to come close to the first down. Chambers doing a nice job of getting to him.
Yeah, if he got nice and low and upended him, and that's going to bring out the punt team once again for Celina. So in terms of strength versus strength, as we watch the replay, we see Chambers getting nice and low. In terms of strength versus strength, you know, advantage Wapak so far.
So we'll see Austin Cotterman back out to punt it deep. And Cotterman, this will be his 13th punt of the year. As they're looking over to the sideline, they've had some personnel issues. They're not going to get a snap off. And they're going to have to take a timeout. Otherwise, they would have been going backwards on 4th down. So the Bulldogs call a timeout with 10:44 remaining here in the first half as they trail Wapak 7-0.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
IC Signs designs, creates, and installs custom eye-catching signs. We use state-of-the-art technology to produce indoor and outdoor signs, LED message boards, and vehicle wraps. We can also help you with LED light conversion, sign refurbishing, custom t-shirts, promotional items, and your print needs. Whether you know what you want or have no idea, trust the experience of IC Signs. Call IC Signs at 419-738-6640.
The Bulldogs figured out their personnel issues and calling a timeout to save a penalty. And Cotterman will punt it deep from their own 38-yard line. He's back on his own 25. Cotterman, fairly nice punt. It's going to have to be fielded at the 35-yard line by Chambers. And Gibson has it, excuse me now, as Gibson is going to get across midfield.
So for the second straight possession, tremendous field position for the Redskins as they will start off in Bulldog territory. And you know, they were fortunate, the recipients last week against Bath, where it was every first half possession started in the opponent's territory. Not quite the exact same situation here, but the last two have.
It's been a rough season for the Bath Wildcats, and it doesn't get any easier as they're taking on St. Mary's this week.
Yeah, St. Mary's team that's put up 133 points, I believe, the last 2 weeks.
We'll see them next week as Celina travels to Skip Bachman. Chambers in motion. Erb's going to keep it. Slipped up, tripped up, still moving. Great blocks in front of him. Brady Erb showing his athletic ability down the sideline and pushed out of bounds at around the 10-yard line.
Well, the slip in the backfield did not hurt the timing of that play at all. And Brendan Kenevi had two really impressive blocks and a big one in open field to really spring that play. We'll check the replay. A keep all the way. There you see 56 Kenevi. There's one, and there's number 2.
Again, Erb had 2 rushing touchdowns last week against Bath. Was looking for another one here in the second quarter. Erb in the shotgun. Keck next to him. He's going to keep it himself once more. Tripped up at around the 5-yard line.
And once again, that was 30 on the play. Mullenkamp.
Luke Mullenkamp is a 6'1 senior, 170 pounds.
I believe that's Logan Mullenkamp as the senior. I think Luke is the junior.
I'm sorry, yeah, you are correct. The other Mullenkamp. Luke, 6 foot 195 junior. Erb from under center. This time he'll give it off to Keck, and Evan Keck will trot into the end zone for his second score of the game.
Just running that lead play right off tackle. And that plays into the physical nature of the running game of Keck. He gets up in the air, but still they can't stop his momentum from going forward and carrying him into the end zone. As you mentioned, that's his second time just tonight. Coming into the game, he was 4th in the WBL in scoring and led running backs in rushing touchdowns.
Gessler on for the PAT, looking to stay perfect on the year. Into the trees, he does just that. 14-0. Wapak on top early here from Celina.
The Stolly Insurance Group, growing and looking out for you.
Whether it's your personal insurance, business insurance, or life and health insurance, let Stolly Insurance look out for you.
We're fortunate enough to represent over 50 different insurance companies.
We have access to major insurance companies all over the country, so you will receive the best coverage for the best premiums.
Stolly Insurance proudly represents Auto Owners Insurance Company and other fine companies.
Stolly Insurance, looking out for you.
Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency is a full-service insurance and financial services agency, offering insurance coverage for your auto, home, business, life, and health. Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency represents a carefully selected group of financially sound, reputable insurance companies to place your policy with a company offering the best coverage at the best price. Contact Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency at 419-739-4000.
The first time it was from 19 yards out. The second time it only takes 5 yards. Evan Keck, 2 touchdowns. His Redskins lead it 14-0. Here in Week 7, TSC Touchdown Friday here on Game Face Ohio. Eli Alvarez, Paul Sadler with you. And field conditions may be sloppy, but it's been a great night weather-wise for football.
Oh, perfectly comfortable. Wow, for people to sit and watch a football game on a Friday night in October, this is beautiful.
Beach kicking this one down about the 10-yard line, fielded by Stevens, trying to switch ends of the field. And after all that, the Celina offense will take over around the 30.
Kind of unfortunate for them that they had the return right set up and the ball was kicked all the way to the left. So, as mentioned, this is a unique place, but we're also in a unique place ourselves. We are not in the press box. We are in the say about the 5th row?
Yeah. Just
right underneath the press box,
line.
and we're protected. If it would rain, which we hope it won't, we would be protected. But we're a little bit lower than normal, but we have a great view of the Walpock sideline and hearing a few things we might not always ordinarily hear.
There's going to be a nice run brought up for a first down as Jackson Silliman. So they don't always go 2 backs, but when they do, Silliman is their second back along with Zisselman. Schwederman going to hand this one off right up the middle to Zisselman, and he's going to bring it up to about the 45 before being pushed back.
So, in a rarity, we were almost on camera there, Eli.
When the producer says you're going on screen, stand up, Paul, you have to stand up. I mean, there's a reason you're 6'5". It's so that you can be seen, as Zisselman's going to get the carry again and across midfield for another first down. Paul's not having it, guys. You want to put him on camera. He wants none of it. He wants none of it. He is defiant over here.
Maybe in the post game.
Maybe the post game, he says. Okay. Another handoff in the Celina offense. Looking good here on this drive.
Well, this is what they're capable of. They're the top rushing team in the Western Buckeye League coming into this. And, they got kind of punched in the mouth here, being down 14-0 and not having a whole lot of success on offense. And, they're going out at no huddle and just want to be in attack mode and kind of, impose their will a little bit to show, hey, this is our home. We're going to be able to show you that we can run the ball.
And they continue to do so as Zisselman, again, one of the leading rushers. So first down, ball right at the 30-yard line.
You can see on the no huddle, then they get the call in for the sideline, then they look to their armbands for the call.
They go up the middle once again. This time, Walpock's defense a little more ready for it.
And Keck and Meeks combined to be able to make the play.
Jackson Silliman that time. Second down and 9 for the gain of 1. Schwederman going to hand it off to Zisselman. And Zisselman is going to make it a 3rd down and manageable.
Well, and add into the fact field position-wise that this would be 4-down territory. Obviously, even though they generally are a more balanced team in the run-pass, I definitely look for them to just continue to try to pound the ball.
And they do exactly that. They'll bring up a 4th down, though.
Yeah, it looks like around the 22-yard line, which make them short by 2 yards, so 4th and 2. But not even thinking about it, they are back to the line.
For the first time tonight, both sidelines coming alive. And the ball's loose on the ground. Walpock looks like they have it. Regardless, it'll be a turnover on down.
Well, that's definitely a way to derail your promising drive. A 4th and short, and you don't even get a chance to be able to make the play because the ball goes on the ground. Don't know if he was meant to pull that or if he was trying to hand it off, but either way, the ball gets bumped by the running back and knocked out of Schwederman's hands.
So Walpock will take over from their own 25-yard line. Herb with an empty set.
Usually look for a quarterback run here.
And that's exactly what we're going to see as he fakes the handoff to Chambers, who came in motion. He's not going to get much.
Yeah, Celina not fooled on that play. Saw that run with some success a little bit earlier.
And you look at Brady Herb and his passing numbers on the year, 9th in the Western Buckeye League, coming into the contest, 15 of 32 for 287 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and his numbers are actually a little bit down from even last year as a first-year starter. So, he's got it in him to be, having up some higher numbers. However, his receivers need to help him out a little bit.
And they're going to say he was down. He had Riley Gibson wide open, but the officials saying that his knee was down after he took a slip. And he's protesting that he just had 6 points taken away.
And we'll get a look at this to see if he indeed had his knee down. He definitely slipped.
I don't think
he did.
His hand,
his hand down, but it's not the same as if elbow or forearm touched, he would have been down. So, the Redskins on the recipient end of kind of a tough call that time. And as I was trying to mention before, we saw last week his receivers dropped, I think, 3 of his passes last week. We had a drop pass from Meeks a little bit earlier. So, it's not all on his shoulders. No, it's a team game, and everyone's got to do their own responsibilities.
We have the benefit of replay. The officials don't. 3rd down. Here's the handoff to Evan Keck. He says, don't worry about it. I'll take care of things. Up to midfield. Evan Keck.
So spread them out and run the ball. That's a real popular thing to do nowadays, and the Redskins were able to pick up a 3rd and 14 by doing just that with number 5.
Ball right at the 50. Herb looks to the sideline for the play call. Pretty easy one. Give it to number 5. And number 5 continuing to pick up yardage. Evan Keck down to the 30.
I tell you what, it's easy to look at Keck, and rightfully so, but I'm not sure I've seen a lineman dominate as much as Brennan Kenevi has. I mean, what he's doing is kind of standing out as a blocker, and sometimes that's tough to do. He was just doing a drive block on his man, and he took him at least 5-10 yards down the field that time.
Ball at the 31 officially. Herb will go under center with Chambers and Keck behind him, and they go to Aaron Chambers this time. The blocking doesn't hold up, and he's going to be stopped for minimum to no gain.
Yeah, Logan Molenkamp that time was able to make the play. He's the 2nd leading tackler for this Bulldog defense, and one of their 3 starting seniors.
Well, head coach Brennan Bader in his 2nd year with the Bulldogs, an 11-5 overall record, and had some success last year, a lot of momentum towards the end of the season. They were hoping to carry that into this year, as Herb's looking to throw deep down the field and just falls incomplete.
And that time he had pressure right up the middle from Seth Hudson.
And Seth Hudson, last year when we were here for the Battle of Grand Lake, had a pretty nasty injury against the Rough Riders, had to be carted off, missed most of the season after that.
Going the empty backfield again. This has been a quarterback run.
That's exactly what it is. Brady Erb not going to get very far as a penalty marker comes in, and some pushing and shoving after the play going on.
Yeah, Luke Mullenkamp, we've called his name quite a bit tonight with the tackle.
It was Drake Langenkamp, the 6'5 junior, getting tied up there for the Bulldogs. Langenkamp, pretty solid basketball standout.
By the way, this penalty is on the Redskins, but they're debating whether to take the penalty or not, and they are going to decline it because it is going to bring up a 4th down and about 8. However, Coach Travis Moyer looks like they're going to keep their offense out there, which, given the field position at the 30-yard line, be really a long field goal in this situation, especially in these conditions. And, you know, you're not going to punt it from here, so kind of a no-brainer.
He said, let's keep the offense out there, but let's make sure number 5 is on the field. That's exactly who's standing next to Erb. Chambers in motion, faking the handoff, looking to Keck. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. And it's going to be pushed out just shy of the end zone, and he actually thought maybe he had a diving attempt for it.
Yeah, they're going to mark him out about the 5 or 6 yard line, but still, you know, what a call, what execution. Running the wheel route out of the backfield, we can see right there with Keck. Beautiful pass, put only where he could catch it, and he did just step out of bounds before he could get into the end zone, but still, what a 4th down conversion, and sets up a 1st and goal at the 5 yard line.
Great job by our guys on the field getting that shot. Keck is going to get it back, looking for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. Is he in? No, one official's coming in and saying he was down.
Yeah, I think he's down. There's a lot of white jerseys with their arms up, but no one in striped jerseys.
He was looking for the trifecta. We'll see if they go back to him as the ball's at the 1, maybe half-yard line.
And really, this first half's kind of moving along, under 3 minutes to go already.
And to this point, the Redskins have taken care of business. Looking to add on to the 2-score lead.
He fumbled it.
Yeah, he did, but he jumped right back on it.
So something you take for granted in these slippery conditions is the snap, and Erb able to quickly jump on that before any other major damage was done.
Definitely caught a break. It'll bring up a 3rd down. Evan Keck stays in there. Chambers in the backfield as well. They're going to go to number 5. And number 5 finds rushing touchdown number 3 on the night.
So, but once again, excellent field position, and then a 4th down conversion on the pass from Erb to Keck really set this up. And what a first half so far for the Redskins.
Evan Keck keeps scoring, and the Redskins keep rolling. Gessler on to try and stay perfect on the year. And he continues to do so. 21-0. Walpock leads it. Minute 47 remaining in the first half. Back to Celina after this.
You're on the go and don't have time for cords to be tying you down. That's why TSC created the Cord Cutter Bundle. You get big savings for bundling internet and cable, and there's no phone requirement. Choose from 20 megabyte, 50 megabyte, or 100 megabyte speeds. No phone, minimal TV, and all lightning fast internet. Ask about the Cord Cutter Bundles and come home to TSC.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Hello, Frost Roofing.
Frost Roofing holds the same core values our company was founded upon nearly 9 decades ago. We proudly provide quality craftsmanship and top-notch service to each client we serve. We're licensed by several major roofing manufacturers to give you the right recommendations at the best value for your investment. With state-of-the-art equipment, cutting-edge technology, and our honest way of doing business, Frost Roofing is our area's preferred commercial roofing experts. To learn more, visit frost-roofing.com or call 419-739-ROOF.
3 scores in the first half for Wapak, all 3 coming from Evan Keck. The first one, 19 yards out. Second one, 5 yards out. This last one took him only 1 yard. And his Redskins are in business, 21-0 over the home team.
Well, the Redskins, kind of really showing just how well they're playing football right now. And Celina almost a little bit shell-shocked.
It's Luke Beach will boot this one down to the 5-yard line. And the Bulldogs will try to set up in solid field position. Chase Stevens cutting back up the middle. Stevens going to bring it down to the 30-yard line.
So only a minute 37 left. They got a couple of timeouts. But, Celina, if they really want to win this game, it's probably need to get some points. Not just to stay competitive, but just get some confidence in themselves. Remember, they had the last drive, they drove it down pretty good, and they got stopped on that 4th down.
Well, they did it on the ground for the most part. With the clock continuing to run, they may have to go to the air attack. That's exactly what they're looking to do. Schwederman is in trouble. Schwederman thrown down from behind.
They have a physical tackle that time by Keith Hauser. We can see him on the drive right there. He pushed his man back on the bull rush, was able to kind of get rid of him, and then take Schwederman down. So that's definitely not what the Bulldogs needed.
Bring up a 2nd and 16 from the 24 as the clock is down to a minute remaining here in the first half. Schwederman will keep this one, looking to get some of those yards back, and he falls forward to about the original line of scrimmage.
Well, the bad thing about that, however, is that the clock's going to keep running, and it's because of the sack they took on the first one. So you're almost committed, because you can't really call a timeout here, because if you get stopped, you have to punt and give too much time to Wapak. So now you're almost committed to just taking this down to halftime.
Well, the Bulldogs will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, so maybe they're thinking, let's regroup at halftime and try to put some points on the board in the second half. As they're taking their sweet time, and head coach Brennan Bader not in any hurry.
You can see the whole Wapak defense coming back and way up.
Throw out to Zizelman, and he almost took a shot as Reed Miracle.
Yeah, Reed Miracle, it looked like he was going to come in for a kind of a kill shot, as that's going to end the half. But I think it came into my, I might hit him too early. So he kind of held off just right at the end.
Well, the red and white here on our side are very happy as they lead it 21-0 at halftime. Back with the halftime report after this. You're watching Game Face Ohio.
Sometimes you just don't want to get out of your car. That's why TSC has made it easy for you to pay your bill. We have drive-up payment drop boxes at our St. Mary's and Wapakoneta offices. Just pull in, drive around, and drop off your payment. Just one more convenience to show you how much we appreciate you.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
halftime here in Celina. 21-0. Wapak leads the Bulldogs. Eli Alvarez, Paul Sadler with you. A beautiful night for football, some sloppy field conditions, but didn't bother the Redskins as we take a look at our scoring summary and how they got this 21-point lead. Remember the number 5 and the name Evan Keck. You'll hear it a lot. 19 yards out in the first quarter, making it 7-0. Then from 5 yards out in the second quarter, making it 14-0. Unfortunately for the Bulldogs, if you have 0 points at halftime and are in a highlight reel, it's not for something good. They fumbled it on 4th down and 1. Evan Keck says, not only do I score touchdowns, but I set them up as well on 4th down. Nice catch, tiptoeing the sideline, down to the 5-yard line. They eventually get it to the 1, and Keck does the rest. And the Redskins have been cruising in this first half, 21-0. They lead it. As the Celina band performs out on the field, we step into Sadler's Schoolhouse.
Okay, we're going to take a closer look at that first touchdown by Evan Keck and a little bit of the chess match that you kind of see. Wapak have been pretty successful running the trap, and Celina was going to run a run blitz here with Luke Molenkamp. He's right there, middle linebacker, and he's going to come up here and try to stuff that run. Go ahead and switch to the tighter view. Now, how they normally would run this trap blocking is they would take Nate Ambus, block down here. They would take Alex Kramer, block down here, and then they would pull Jeff Plotter to kick out to create the seam right up here. Well, that's exactly where Molenkamp is going to come up. He's going to come up here as we start to run the play and be in a perfect position to shut this play down. Go and freeze it. If he took the angle right here and ran where the gap was instead of running where the blocker was, he should have blown the play up right there at the line of scrimmage. Instead, he takes a little bit of the wrong angle. Go ahead and run it. And now there's no second level for Keck to even mess with. He only has a third level safety, Isaac Conley, right there, that he disposed of with a little jump cut move and then heads into the end zone.
What a move by Evan Keck. It's been all Redskins, all Evan Keck tonight. If you're Brennan Bader in that locker room talking to your Bulldogs, what are you saying right now at halftime, Paul?
Got to get back to basics. Offensively, they had one very, very promising drive that got derailed with a negative play and then a fumble. They have to look themselves in the mirror and see, who are we? And, they're a potentially explosive offense that needs to be able to put some points on the board, and that can help their defense a little bit by keeping them off the field. But then the defense has to come through and get off the field themselves and maybe get a shorter field for their offense.
It was a disappointing week last week for the Bulldogs, falling to the Bulldogs of Defiance. They got Wapak this week, and they travel to Skip Bachman to take on the Rough Riders next week. We'll be there for that one, so it doesn't get any easier for Coach Bader and his squad going forward. That's for sure. 21-0. Wapak leads it here at halftime over the Celina Bulldogs. We'll take a break. When we come back, we got the third quarter on its way.
Have you heard about TSC's referral program? Refer your friends and family, and you both get a credit matching the services they chose. That's right, we'll credit your invoice. There's no limit to the number of friends you can refer. So come back to your local hometown provider and bring your friends and family with you. We'll reward you both.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Third quarter about to get underway here from Celina, 21-0. Wapak on top after a great first half from Coach Moyer's squad, especially Evan Keck, responsible for all 3 scores. Eli Alvarez, Paul Sadler here with you. And getting a little hazy, foggy kind of out on the field. You know, it's not really affecting too much vision-wise, but you look up at the lights and you can definitely tell something's kind of drifted over.
As long as the rain stays away, because I don't think this field will stand up to a lot more rain.
No, already significant puddles on the Celina sideline. And this is a Bulldogs offense that needs to get something going here early in this third quarter, because the way Wapak's been moving the ball offensively, if that carries over from the first half, this one could be over in a hurry. And Paul, as they wait to start the second half here, you've got St. Mary's next week if you're Celina. Obviously, every coach is going to tell you, you don't look ahead to the next week's opponent. You focus on who's in front of you. But to know that you have these two powerhouses back-to-back weeks, that's got to play some part in your mind.
Well, it's a little daunting, but I mean, football is really kind of set up this way to where it's a one-week season every week, to where this is all about Wapak for them. You know, so they're prepared for Wapak, and you know they don't feel they put their best foot forward in that first half. So I look for a better second half of performance for them tonight.
Beach, it's a nice kick. It's going to be fielded by Jordan Song. He'll try to go to the outside, set up his offense in some decent field position. He's got that Celina sideline hopping as Song's going to be pushed out of bounds at around the 35-yard line. A great return.
And that might be just what it's needed to get this Bulldog offense going. As you mentioned, there's a lot of enthusiasm and electricity on the Bulldog sidelines. You know, took that all the way back around the 2-yard line, cutting out to the outside, and just turning on the jets before he's finally knocked out of bounds.
Aaron Chambers coming over to lay the hit. So Brett Schwederman and company is going to set up in great field position. Schwederman going to give it to Kyle Zisselman. Zisselman's going to pick up 4, maybe 5.
Again, Zisselman averaging nearly 100 yards a game coming in, and their most successful drive was all ground-based a little bit earlier in the first half.
Second down, 5 from the 30-yard line. Schwederman's going to throw it out to Molenkamp in the flats, and the Wapak defense is ready for it. Excuse me, that's Chase Stevens that made the catch for Celina.
And Stevens, one of their bigger weapons, and he's been somewhat silenced so far. Hasn't had a chance to really show what he can do. He averages 8.3 yards a carry, and is also one of their top receivers with nearly 200 yards receiving.
Actually lost a yard. Make it 3rd and 6. They're going to give it to Zisselman, trying to power forward, and it looks like he's going to be stopped just short.
So a very similar situation that they were in the second quarter. In Redskin territory, they're going to have a 4th and 2. Last time they did this, they actually had a fumble on the quarterback running back exchange. We'll see what they dial up this time.
Schwederman on 4th and 1. Is going to roll out to his left. Looks like he's got enough for the first down.
Yeah, at first glance thought that we were running the speed option, but that was a quarterback sweep all the way with both running backs leading up as lead blockers, and just enough to be able to move the chains, and that was a big 4th down conversion for the Bulldogs.
We'll see if it gives them some momentum to try to finish this drive off. They need points.
Again, sticking with that 2-back formation.
High snap. Schwederman brings it down, but the Wapak defense takes advantage of it.
Now once again, Cack, he's kind of wearing a gray jersey on the back right now instead of white. And that will be a loss on the play.
A couple people you can see, that's the Wapak and Celina student sections. Going
yeah,
with a similar theme.
Don't know if they coordinated on the dress tonight, but you know, both of them in kind of some neon fluorescent, and some of them also in some construction gear.
As this run is going to pick up minimum yardage, and a flag flying in late as the helmet flies off Chase Stevens.
Yeah, Keck was in there, made the play. However, he really did not need to because his forward progress was stopped. The whistle was blowing. Didn't need to take him down like this. So he made the play. Whistle's blowing. They can let up on that. You don't need to physically bring him down with that much. So personal foul on the Redskins, and that's going to give them the yardage for the first down.
So the Bulldogs catch a break, and it was all set up thanks to Jordan Song and his kick return to start the second half. Now they're in enemy territory inside the red zone. Looking for their first points of the game. Schwederman with Zizelman behind him in the backfield. Schwederman looking to pass. Now he's going to bring it down. He's in trouble. Getting away from tacklers, but doesn't get away from that one.
Just way too much time. Jake Lee, I think, is going to get the sack. I think that's the first time we've called his name. But Celina not really helping themselves in the passing game, and I don't think any of their receivers are really getting open. So you can really credit the defensive backfield of Wapak for being able to get that sack.
Second down and long. Schwederman looking to throw. Got his man, but it's incomplete as Cooper Jones, the 6'3 sophomore, was trying to drag a foot in bounds, and he couldn't.
Yeah, kind of tough that time. You're on the short side of the field. You're kind of not a full rollout, but you're definitely kind of shuffling towards that side. Might be better to have the right-hander kind of go here to the far side of the field. Here we'll take a look at. Goes up in the air, and
close.
It's pretty close. He only needs 1 foot down in high school football.
Might have been partially on the line. Schwederman rolling to his right, now back to his left. He's got a man, and it falls incomplete on third down and long, and now a decision for the Bulldogs.
No, I think there's no decision here with where you're at. You're inside the 20. You're going to have to go for it.
And they need 18 yards to pick up the first down, which they can still do without getting into the end zone. But with the ball spotted at the 19, you would think this play is designed for 6. Schwederman by himself. Looking to his left, now to his right. He's got a man well short of the first down. It's Austin Cotterman, and I don't know if that one makes too much sense as Wapak takes back over.
No, you need to be able to put the ball in a position where you get a chance to pick up the first down. So the Redskins get off the field. We're going to take a look at the series history between these two longtime rivals. This is the 90th meeting. First met way back in 1925, and they've met every year since 1933. That's a long time to be able to play the same team every single year. We mentioned that Celina won last year at Harmon Field in overtime, 34-28. Wapak had won the previous 4 in a row. It's been since 2012 since Celina has defeated Wapak here at Celina.
Nice run by Riley Gibson, lowering his shoulder and going back even further. Wapak has won 10 of the last 14 in the series as well. But 1925, I'll have to remember that in case it comes up in the trivia question.
You never know. Got to be prepared.
I need to.
Sometimes I float a few breadcrumbs out there.
Yes,
we'll see.
Yes, you do. I've got that one just in case. And we'll have the Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency trivia question for you later.
But we did mention that 2012 was the last time that Celina beat Wapak here. We did that game. It was a very entertaining game as well, and they've had some entertaining games. The very next year in 2013, Wapak was able to come from behind and beat Celina 29-26 on a Zach Smergy 4th and 32 pickup. And it was one of the most incredible plays, individual plays that I can remember seeing for that to be successful. You know how ESPN has those percentage wins and so forth. The Wapak percentage of winning had to be extraordinarily low, like 1% at that time, for them to pick up a 4th and 32.
Nice block by Gibson as Keck carries the load forward.
That's good. It's a little longer than I realized at times going through some of these.
Well, it's like a fine wine, just better with age. If that makes you feel any better, I guess. First down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Herb will go to the shotgun with Keck next to him.
A lot of movement there to just adjust to the formation for the Bulldog defense.
It's a give to Evan Keck. And he's going to pick up maybe 2. So the clock continues to run.
And, you know, something we have not seen yet so far is this Bulldog defense to be able to get an early stop on Wapak. They've only stopped them in 1 possession, but even then, Wapak was in Bulldog territory and went for that quick kick to where Brady got in the shotgun and punted it.
And if you were just glancing at the scoreboard, you didn't see much of the game. It's 21-0 as Herb looking to throw, nowhere near Riley Gibson. Looks like those two are mixed up on the route that Gibson was supposed to be running.
Yeah, I don't know if he was going to stay in the flats there. It looked like Herb was expecting him to turn up the sidelines on a little bit of a wheel route similar to what Herb ran for the first down on the 4th down conversion in the 2nd quarter.
But if you see 21-0 third quarter and you haven't seen much of the action, you would think it's a fairly close ball game, but it really has been controlled by the Redskins, it seems, from start to where we are now.
Well, a lot of times in high school football played at this level, it's about making the most of your opportunities. And Celina's had 2 opportunities to have drives where they should have had the opportunity to score, and they didn't. You know, if they were able to score on those, you know, it's a 21-14 ball game.
Well, the Redskins take a timeout to avoid a penalty as they lead it 21-0 with 6:30 remaining here in the third quarter from Celina. We'll take a break and be back after this.
Come out to Astro Lanes in the Loft Bar and Grill, where you can find great food, good drinks, fun games, and of course, bowling. Astro Lanes, a great place to spend some spare time.
Strength is about so much more than the body. It's about being together, serving, sharing, and caring for those around us. It's about keeping score in the heart rather than on a scoreboard. Be a part of a community that builds more than your body. At the Wapakoneta Family YMCA.
I can tell you later.
Timeout taken by head coach Travis Moyer to regroup his Redskins on this 3rd down and 7. They lead at 21-0. They come out with Herb in the shotgun. Riley Gibson next to him. Keck still out there as they give it to Gibson. Gibson looking for some blockers. Gibson not going to go down easily, and it looks like he's close to the 1st down. I think they're going to give it to him.
Well, Brandon Stockler was able to make the tackle, but not in time because that is a 1st down for the Redskins.
Move the chains, and this drive continues. And really, as you were alluding to, there's been moments where Celina looks like they're going to fight back into this one. And a penalty or costly turnover is the reason they're still scoreless. Keck will get the ball at the 40, bouncing to the outside. Keck with a stiff arm, and is he still in bounds? They say it, he is. Evan Keck all the way to the end zone, showing his power.
And what a block, decleating block by Isaac Meeks. And that was right in front of us, but we were kind of blocked by the team bench. We couldn't see exactly how close he was to the sideline, but what a play. That would be a 60-yard touchdown run if it stands.
They might be bringing it back, though, saying he stepped out of bounds.
Here, we'll watch on the replay, see if we get a chance to see if he did step out of bounds.
That's close. I don't think he did.
It didn't look like he stepped out of bounds to me.
I think he was in.
Well, unfortunately, they can't throw the challenge flag here at the high school level.
So Evan Keck was looking for rushing touchdown number 4.
In a most impressive fashion, too. Instead, it's going to be marked at the 38-yard line.
I will say from our angle, it looked like he had stepped out, but the angle from high above told a different story.
Well, the key thing here, I didn't hear a whistle.
Yeah.
And you know the replay, that would have been a little bit before that.
Gibson's going to get it this time. Riley Gibson's going to have the first down and more. Riley Gibson looking to add to the fun. Gibson into the end zone for a score, but there's a penalty marker down behind the play.
And it is coming back for another hold. So, again, the Redskins sometimes are their own worst enemy as one of the more penalized teams in the Western Buckeye League team. You know, a tight call being on out of bounds took off the touchdown by Keck, and this time a hold is going to eliminate the touchdown by Riley Gibson, who really hasn't had a whole lot of touches this game.
Well, back-to-back plays that went for touchdowns, thought it was going to be 6, instead being brought back. This time because of a penalty, the Walpock faithful aren't too happy about it. But they still have the 21-point advantage. Well, if you're the Redskins, maybe the third time's a charm.
Well, so sometimes these things kind of motivate you even a little bit more, so we'll see how it goes. But, you know, Celina, you know, they have to take advantage of these opportunities that they've just been getting with reprieves and taking points off the board.
Gibson and Keck will stay in. As
play clock
down to 2, and Coach Moyer is going to have to call a timeout to avoid a penalty. The second time he's had to do that this quarter. So 5:43 remaining in the third. Walpock on top, 21-0, as we'll keep it here. And Paul, 21-0 lead. Walpock looks in control at the moment. You never know what the Bulldogs are cooking up. But I think it's time that we look at our Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency trivia question.
And this is one we've talked about before, so we'll see if you've gotten it. Who are the 6 founding members of the WBL?
Okay, well, we did talk about this last year. I know Bell Fountain is in there somewhere. I'm saying Bell Fountain, Coldwater, Van Wert, St. Mary's. There's 2 more. Let's go Walpock for 5. And my thought is it's a Lima school, but I don't know which. So that's my answer for number 6. A Lima school, but I don't know which. As Herb's going to keep it on first down. Herb is trying to do his best Evan Keck impersonation and tiptoe the sideline, but he's pushed out.
So restate those 6 again?
Okay, so Bell Fountain, Coldwater, St. Mary's, Van Wert, Walpock, and a Lima area school.
In the Lima area school. So Lima Temple Christian?
A current Western Buckeye League member,
okay.
Lima area school.
Well, we'll see how you did here shortly.
I should know this. Second down and 7. AJ's not here to help me out. AJ knows this. Aaron Chambers with the carry. He's got enough for the first down. And I know this is your favorite part of the game.
There we go. The 6 founding members. You had 4 of them right.
Okay. I'll take it.
St. Mary's, Walpock, Van Wert. The team that were here, Celina.
Yeah, I should have.
Thought you really should have got them. Bell Fountain, yes, they were a founding member. And then the Bluffton Pirates.
I switched out Coldwater and Bluffton.
Coldwater actually ended up taking Bluffton's spot in the mid-50s, I believe.
As Keck continues to move the pile forward.
But a little more trivia for you. The Western Buckeye League was actually predated by something called the Midwestern League, in which, again, these 2 schools were members of the Midwestern League, as was Van Wert and St. Mary's. So those 4 schools have been in the same league together since the late 20s, which is remarkable that these teams have all kind of played each other for that long, that consistently. And then the other 2 teams that were in the Midwestern League, different than the Western Buckeye League, might be a future trivia question, so I'm not sure I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
But it's not Bell Fountain and Bluffton.
I think it might be. If it's a future trivia question, I'm going with Delphus St. John's, maybe.
I would say you'd be wrong on that one.
Okay.
Delphus St. John's didn't have a football team until the 50s.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Which, again, we don't do them, but are you familiar with Bob Arnson? Bob Arnson, Hall of Fame basketball coach, coached for 40 years. He was my coach. And he was also the first football coach in Delphus St. John's history, too. So he did double duty there for really 1 season.
He's a walking encyclopedia. Chambers with the carry. Chambers with the first down. You know, I knew about the Midwestern League because I've heard you talk about it before. And obviously, being from Van Wert, I knew Van Wert, founding member along with St. Mary's. I should have guessed Celina. Bluffton, is there any way I can get credit for a Lima area school with Bluffton?
They're not even a suburban Lima, so no.
Just the surrounding 100-mile radius of Lima. Oh well. Herb will give it back to Keck up the middle. Evan Keck picking up a nice chunk of yardage. At least the guys in the truck have my back.
Well, they know the answers well in advance.
Well, that's true.
You can see a look in there in the background of the Celina student body. Again, very unique place here. I mean, they've gotten seatings, you know, on 3 sides of the field. They're going into their student section and the marching band as well, just there on the left-hand side of the screen.
Herb's going to roll out. Trying to take it himself. Stiff arm. Herb is in for the score. And Walpock making this a rout.
And I don't know if that was Cotterman had a chance to get him an actual naked bootleg here. It's naked because they pulled everybody away and there's no receivers there. This was an all or nothing. Brady Herb going to be able to run it in or not. And he was able to evade the tackle in the one-on-one situation, get into the end zone. And it looks like, you know, this is going to be Walpock's night.
Gessler, 23 of 23 on PAT attempts this year. Make it 24 for 24.
And also the whitest jersey out there.
Walpock in control of this one.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
IC Signs designs, creates, and installs custom eye-catching signs. We use state-of-the-art technology to produce indoor and outdoor signs, LED message boards, and vehicle wraps. We can also help you with LED light conversion, sign refurbishing, custom t-shirts, promotional items, and your print needs. Whether you know what you want or have no idea, trust the experience of IC Signs. Call IC Signs at 419-738-6640.
28-0. Wapak leads it here in the third quarter over Celina. Brady Erb takes it in from 10 yards out. Evan Keck was having all the fun with 3 rushing touchdowns before that. And the quarterback getting it in. That's his 3rd rushing touchdown in the last 2 weeks now. As Luke Beach will boot it away from the 40. Celina looking for anything here. As they field this at around the goal line, it's going to be Chase Stevens. Stevens trying to make a man miss. Cut back inside, but the special teams unit was there to cover.
And a really long return last time was for nothing, and they're going to have a lot tougher field position this time. So we mentioned kind of Wapak and them still controlling everything. They do have a loss on the season a couple weeks ago at Kenton in a surprisingly low-scoring game with how many points Kenton's capable of not only putting up but also been giving up lately. They held the lead until at the very end, and then Kenton scored to be able to win 15-10. But the last couple weeks, against Elida and Bath, they put up 56 points and 49 points, and have looked really, really good. And Celina again was 4-1. They stubbed their toe last week against Defiance, but still, this is a big matchup, and kind of a statement from Wapak to really be handling a pretty quality team on their home field.
One thing they want to avoid now with a 28-point lead late in the third quarter is injuries. And not that they're looking ahead, but they've got a matchup next week at home against the Defiance Bulldog squad that has been almost sneaky good this year. Hard to figure them out.
For what it's worth, when you were first starting that, I thought you were going to be talking to avoid that big puddle that they were just over there.
That too. The one area you don't want to go, but it seems like a lot of action has happened over there.
They just missed it there.
Yeah, they did. Kyle Zizelman on the carry for Celina.
That area right there.
Again, they were out here pregame with brooms trying to push water off the entire side, and they just missed the spot.
Yeah. Well, and that might be just a natural low-lying spot, too.
Schwederman tried to keep it himself, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, Panini got in there right away, and, you kind of feel, Celina had that little bit of excitement to start the second half, but now it's just been all Wapak right now in terms of energy.
Just down the way from the football field is the Celina soccer field. They have some problems with that during the season as well. It's kind of down in a bowl. A lot of times water collects there.
We'll be at Skip Bachman Stadium next week, and that place is in a low-lying area as well. So as Chambers misjudged that a little bit.
Slipped up as well.
Fortunate for him that the ball didn't carry him off the shoulder pad or anything. So besides getting a little dirty, maybe get teased by his teammates a little bit. No harm.
And now he just looks like he's been putting as much work in as anybody else. As you alluded to after the last PAT attempt, Tristan Gessler and Luke Beach, the kickers, nice and white.
Yes,
uniforms.
They are. And there's a lot more people in uniform. I'm pretty sure that they're dressing some freshmen here, Wapak, in front of us, because there's a lot of guys that are not in our roster.
Erb in the shotgun with Keck next to him. Send the man in motion. It's Riley Gibson. Gibson following his blockers. A penalty marker is going to come in as Gibson continues to go down the sideline, and for the moment, Gibson's into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, but this is coming back. There's no doubt. Not to take away some of the excitement of that run, but this is coming back.
I'm just going to stop getting excited on touchdown runs now.
This will be the third one that's come back. Two of them on penalty, one of them on a step out of bounds that we didn't quite see. I'm pretty sure I saw a hold there, so I'm pretty sure this is a legit call. I don't know if we'll see that on replay or not.
Well,
so kind of a hold on that play once again called.
28-0 lead. Not much to complain about, but that is one thing, that they've had 3 touchdowns called back. So they'll set up at the 27-yard line, making it a 1st and 16. Just over a minute to go here in the third quarter. Herb will come out in the shotgun. Evan Keck next to him. We saw this last week when they got a pretty sizable lead on Bath. Herb started going to the air. They're going to keep it on the ground with Aaron Chambers. Going to bring up a 2nd down, and maybe not a terrible idea to try to work on the passing game here with a 28-0 lead. As we take a look at that hold.
Go back and see. We see the lower corner right there is where they called that hold, by the way.
Good call.
So good job in the truck finding that, guys.
2nd down and 13 after the run by Chambers.
So to answer what you were talking about before, I'm not sure, like last week, that you're going to see them try to work on the passing game. Given the field conditions a little bit, it's a little bit slipperier. I think you'd rather do that on a dry surface or, on their home turf surface.
Now the clock continues to run, and that's going to be the final play of the third quarter. 28-0. Wapak is dominating right now here in Celina. Fourth quarter on its way. Fresh 12 minutes put up on the board. We'll be back after this.
The Stolly Insurance Group, growing and looking out for you.
Whether it's your personal insurance, business insurance, or life and health insurance, let Stolly Insurance look out for you.
We're fortunate enough to represent over 50 different insurance companies.
We have access to major insurance companies all over the country, so you will receive the best coverage for the best premiums.
Stolly Insurance proudly represents Auto Owners Insurance Company and other fine companies.
Stolly Insurance, looking out for you.
Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency is a full-service insurance and financial services agency, offering insurance coverage for your auto, home, business, life, and health. Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency represents a carefully selected group of financially sound, reputable insurance companies to place your policy with a company offering the best coverage at the best price. Contact Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency at 419-739-4000.
Fourth quarter about to get underway here in Celina. 28-0. It's been all Wapak to this point. Eli Alvarez, Paul Sadler here with you, and we've decided that the fourth quarter we're going to brush up on high school Spanish for Paul.
Well, my kids are a little bit older, so I haven't seen Dora the Explorer in a few years.
As we get a nice shot of the Celina band, some colorful action going on over there. Senior night here in Celina. They honored the fall sport athletes before the game. At halftime, they honored the senior band members. They're still having a fun time. So 3rd down and 5 for Wapak. Start the fourth quarter. Brady Erb's going to keep it, and Brady Erb's going to have enough for the first down. So numero 10, number 10, Paul.
Oh, I would have got that.
Picks up the first down.
I can go with 11.
You can go up to 11?
I can go up to 11.
You can go up to 11. You can't go to 12.
Well, I can now.
Okay, there you go. You've heard of Sadler Schoolhouse. It's now Alvarez's Escuela. You got to give me something. First down. It's going to be a run.
I tell you what, that's one of the first times we've ever seen Keck kind of stalled where he got contacted, did not go forward. So, nice play there by the Bulldog defense.
Bring up a second down. We'll say 9. Scoreboard's still at 10. The 46-yard line. Herb coming into the huddle with the play call. .11 minutes remaining here in the ball game. Herb is going to keep this one. Following his blocker, Evan Keck. Herb still spinning, moving down, lunging forward for the first down, the quarterback, Brady Herb.
Nice play by Herb. Running the read option, decided to pull it and had some traffic right away, was able to make a miss, got some contact, was able to still push ahead forward to where I thought it might have been a first down, but they are going to say that it's short.
Definitely looked like he had enough, but yeah, 3rd and inches.
It's enough to where the referees were, it's 28-0. We're not going to bother measuring.
Keck going to get the carry. He's got the first down. And then
he fumbled.
Oh, yes, he did. It's still loose, but the official's going to come in and say he was down before the fumble.
Well, I guess once again we'll take a look at that.
Either that or they're going to say forward progress was stopped.
Forward progress might have been stopped, and I'm not sure about that. I think the ball was loose.
Let's take a look.
See, obviously he got the first down. He's moving forward. I mean, that's a fumble.
The ball was out. It's just hard to see where Keck's knee was.
For anyone that watched the Browns game on Sunday, that was similar to the Derek Carr. Just got some contact, the ball came loose, and all of a sudden, nope, he's down.
Gibson trying to bounce it to the outside on first down. Riley Gibson is going to be thrown out on that Celina sideline. And Wapak faithful wanting a flag, but like you mentioned, there's not much room.
Well, they got a flag, but I'm betting this is going to be on Gibson.
It might be, and yep, that's exactly who it's going on, Riley Gibson.
Obviously upset for not getting that call, but that's no reason to lose your composure.
Well, and again, the sidelines here at Celina, not much room between the out of bounds and the wall. Get a look at the replay here.
So going to the outside, makes a nice play, gets hit. Yeah, that could have been called.
Yep,
that could have been called.
The other argument, as it was Jordan Song, the cornerback, that had his hands on Gibson, is that slippery field, wet conditions, the officials just thinking he slipped.
Well, I think the difference was, I mean, you could see an effort to kind of throw him down once he was obviously out of bounds. So I understand the frustration, but you can't cost your team that. I mean, and unfortunately that's happened a couple times to this Redskin team.
Herb looking to throw. He's got Chambers down the field, and a flag coming in as Brandon Sadler thought he made a nice defensive play. The officials think otherwise.
Yeah, he definitely had his hands on Chambers going down and interfered with his as we see the replay. See there's some contact. Not egregious, but I mean his right arm was definitely limiting the left arm of Chambers trying to be able to make that catch. Now, again, high school, it's a 15-yard penalty, so it doesn't matter how far it was thrown down, and it's also not an automatic first down, so not too often where you see a pass interference and it's not a first down.
First time tonight we've called Stogler's name for the Bulldogs. And starts for them at safety, 5'11" sophomore, getting some valuable experience.
As mentioned, there's a good amount of youth on this defense.
Evan Keck runs through that youth and gets up to the 25.
And comparably, you know, Celina is more of an offensive heavy team. And remember, they came into this game first in the Western Buckeye League in total offensive yards and in rushing. and third in scoring, averaging 36 points a game. And for them to be being shut out is a credit to the top-ranked defense of Wapak. You know, we talked about strength versus strength, and the Wapak defensive strength is definitely prevailing.
Just over 9 minutes remaining in the ball game.
Now conversely, Wapak averaging 36 points a game on offense, and Celina came in, you know, middle of the pack, 6 out of the 10 teams, giving up 27 points a game. So this is kind of what they usually give up.
Almost right on. Once again, both these teams in battle again next week. Wapak home against Defiance. The Celina Bulldogs will travel to Skip Bachman to take on the St. Mary's Rough Riders. We'll have that one for you right here on Game Face Ohio.
You know, arguably one of the biggest rivalries, not just in the Western Buckeye League, but, you know, in this area, the Battle of Grand Lake St. Mary's between the Rough Riders and the Bulldogs.
Definitely right up there. Another big one, obviously St. Mary's, Wapak. You go out of the Western Buckeye League, Minster, New Bremen. There's a lot of great rivalries in this area, but the Battle of Grand Lake has something special to it. And you remember last year we were here for that contest when the Rough Riders went up early and it looked like they were just going to control the rest of the ball game, and Celina had a moment where they got back into it but eventually fell short. As Chambers is going to get the carry.
Oh, nice spin move.
His way down to the goal line, stretching for the end zone, but he's going to be brought down just shy.
Well, I tell you what, that would have been our taking it to the house play if he got in, because that was a remarkable spin move. We'll watch the replay by Chambers right there. Wow. Hit the B button.
Someone plays video games.
I used to.
I'm sure your kids do. They still
they do.
Teach you a few things.
Now they're like triangles and square buttons or something.
8 minutes remain. Let's see if they go back to Evan Keck or if they reward Aaron Chambers. Keck looking for his 4th rushing touchdown of the game as a penalty marker flies, and it's against the Redskins.
You know, these kind of unforced penalties, you know, it's got to be frustrating to Coach Moyer and his staff. And, you know, it's not going to cost them in this game, but, you know, it might cost them in the future because they do hurt themselves way too often with penalties.
Well, we talked about it coming into the contest. They were the 4th most penalized team in the Western Buckeye League, and that number may go up after this week. Coming in, 37 penalties for the Redskins for just over 300 yards. As this one's going to Evan Keck. Evan Keck with his 4th rushing touchdown of the night. Wapak dominating in this one.
You know, running just that lead play again, and sometimes it's Gibson doing it, but this time it is, look at Chambers with the lead block right there to be able to spring that. Also the right side of the line with the big blocks. And this is going to kick in the OHSA mercy rule. We will be running under a running clock starting with the kickoff after this score.
Gessler on for the PAT. Tristan Gessler through the uprights. 35-0. Wapak on top. 7:20 remaining when we come back.
You're on the go and don't have time for cords to be tying you down. That's why TSC created the Cord Cutter Bundle. You get big savings for bundling internet and cable, and there's no phone requirement. Choose from 20 megabyte, 50 megabyte, or 100 megabyte speeds. No phone, minimal TV, and all lightning fast internet. Ask about the Cord Cutter Bundles and come home to TSC.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Hello, Frost Roofing.
Frost Roofing holds the same core values our company was founded upon nearly 9 decades ago. We proudly provide quality craftsmanship and top-notch service to each client we serve. We're licensed by several major roofing manufacturers to give you the right recommendations at the best value for your investment. With state-of-the-art equipment, cutting-edge technology, and our honest way of doing business, Frost Roofing is our area's preferred commercial roofing experts. To learn more, visit frost-roofing.com or call 419-739-ROOF.
Well, Evan Keck's going to be earning a few more stickers on his helmet as he just rushed in for the 4th time tonight. And the Redskins dominating 35-0 over the Celina Bulldogs.
Well, I can honestly say that this wasn't a score that we expected coming into this game. We expected, a competitive game. And, Wapak has really taken it to the Celina Bulldogs so far.
This explosive offense of Celina, it's been week to week on how they perform. Last week a disappointing loss to the Defiance Bulldogs. This week having some trouble as almost a miscue on special teams. And the Bulldogs are going to set up at around the 25.
Well, let me read you. Oh, there's another flag.
I'll see you. This one is on. They came in. I don't know if it was after the play, during the play, but it looks like it's going against Wapak. Oh, it's against Celina.
So, anyway, let me go ahead and read you scores that this offense has put up so far this year for Celina. They scored 41 versus Versailles, 13 against Kenton in a loss, 56 against Elida, 50 against Bath, 42 against Ottawa Glandorf, and then 14 last week. And then this team is now at 0 with a running clock on their home field.
When this team has won, as you just mentioned, they've scored 40 points or more to win their ball games. As they're going to pick up a first down. But yeah, in all 4 competitions that they've won, it's taken 40-plus points for them to get the W.
Yep. Well, we're going to see several white jerseys kind of coming on the field. That's going to indicate that there's some backups coming in. Not wholesale changes for the Redskins, but probably about half of them out there.
And we have a Bulldog that's down on the sideline. It's Kyle Zizelman.
Yeah, that's their main running back. And we see him being looked at on one knee on the sideline. He's over on the far side, so we don't have a good look.
Caleb Pack, number 19, one of those new names in. Devin Hulskamp as well, number 15.
The pass there caught by Austin Oakley.
Looks like Trevor Crow, who had a defensive touchdown last week against Bath, has joined the new defensive crew.
Yeah, there we see Zizelman. Obviously a big key to this Celina offense, which we did not see the best of them this week. When I mentioned we're going to see them next week against the #1 team in the state and their arch rivals with the St. Mary's Rough Riders. So, hope that young man is, ready for battle again next week.
And I think at this point in the season, Paul, obviously coming to a close, week 7, you look at the Western Buckeye League standings, which we did earlier, you can kind of start to figure out, okay, this is what needs to happen. This is who controls their own destiny. Wapak controls their own destiny as they get a big stop on 3rd down.
Yeah, Garrett Seifring, only a sophomore, but he is a starter. That's why his uniform's still dirty out there with the tackle. But yeah, as you mentioned, there's really, realistically, only 2 teams left to be able to win the WBL titles. St. Mary's is undefeated, and Wapak has 1 loss, but yet they still play St. Mary's on their schedule. Everybody else has at least 2 losses, and this 3rd league loss will likely eliminate Celina from WBL contention.
However, there still are a few teams from the Western Buckeye League that have a shot at making the playoffs, as Cotterman will punt this one down to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it's actually fairly likely. The Redskins and St. Mary's, you hate to jinx teams, but virtual locks to be able to make the playoffs, it seems. Van Wert Cougars look to be able to end a long drought and be able to make the playoffs. It'll be the first time since the 2000 season for the Van Wert Cougars to be able to make the playoffs. That 2000 team went to the state championship, lost in double overtime, and one loss to Canton Central Catholic. One of us remembers that really well.
I also remember it was a special teams error.
Now we missed an extra point in overtime. In the second overtime, they were able to hit theirs to win the state championship. But still, a heck of a run for the Cougars there. But Keith Recker, head coach over at Van Wert, doing a tremendous job getting them where they need to go. And Kenton, not necessarily playing at their best, but they still have enough quality wins, including a win over this Wapak team that's really kind of aiding their playoff resume in the computer rankings. So, you might see potentially 4 teams in the Western Buckeye League in the playoffs this year.
And that's the thing. You look at the other teams in the Western Buckeye League that are at 4-2. Van Wert, Celina, and Defiance all sit there, and the Cougars at least have to play both of those 2 teams. Defiance obviously getting the better of the Bulldogs last week. As the new look offense for Wapak brings up a 3rd down and 1. Trevor Crow, the quarterback for the Redskins.
Yeah, Trevor Crow getting some quality playing time here for the 2nd week in a row under the Friday Night Lights, and a lot of other guys as well out there. We've seen Jevin Woodruff carry the ball a little bit over the last couple weeks here, number 13.
Ball just shy of midfield. Crow's going to keep it himself, but now we've got a penalty marker and a false start going against Wapak. Trevor Crow got a defensive touchdown last week. It looked like he was going to get an offensive touchdown this week.
Yeah, but when they, on a false start like that, they were blowing the play dead. So the play never really should have, proceeded once they blew that whistle.
So they'll move them back, and as you mentioned, 35-point lead, mercy rule in effect. The clock continues to run down to 2 minutes now remaining.
Yeah, things got to go quickly once they go to the running clock.
And again, this rule, when it first came in, maybe some hesitation by people, not knowing what it would bring, but it's been great. It really has prevented games from dragging on too long, and it's prevented injuries as well. As on 3rd down and 6, the Redskins are going to face a 4th down after Woodruff's carry.
We'll see what they do on this 4th and short. In this situation, a lot of times, instead of putting in a JV punt team, if you will, sometimes they'll just, let's just go ahead and run it, and you might be able to end the game. And that looks like what Coach Moyer is opting to do. And, the coaches, they kind of enjoy this a little bit too. Coach Moyer doesn't coach the JV team, but this gives him an opportunity to work with like Trevor Crow, who might be a single caller next year.
Crow's going to keep it. This time, no flags, and Trevor Crow's going to pick up the 1st down, and that will pretty much do it. They'll have to run one more play. As the Redskins start celebrating their victory on the sideline.
So depending on when they blow this in the play, they might have to run one more play. As we mentioned last week, with running clock, they don't stop it on penalties. In theory, you could just take the delay of game and just let it run out anyway. But at least according to the rules, they should have to snap this one more time. But they're going to do this in the victory formation. Coach's favorite formation.
And after their stumble a few weeks ago against Kenton, the Redskins have responded well. They moved to 6-1 on the season, 5-1 in the Western Buckeye League, chasing the St. Mary's Rough Riders. That'll make for a great final week of the regular season. They take this one in Celina, 35-0. All Redskins. Back after this.
sometimes you just don't want to get out of your car. That's why TSC has made it easy for you to pay your bill. We have drive-up payment drop boxes at our St. Mary's and Wapakoneta offices. Just pull in, drive around, and drop off your payment. Just one more convenience to show you how much we appreciate you.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Back here in Celina to wrap things up, Wapak, a dominating performance from start to finish, 35-0 over the Bulldogs. Eli Alvarez, Paul Sadler here with you one final time. Let's take a look at our scoring summary and how we got to this point early and often. And remember the number 5 and the name Evan Keck, because it was all him in this one. First touchdown of the game coming from 19 yards out. Early 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Then from 5 yards out, number 5 takes it in for the score, makes it 14-0. Then he sets up his own touchdown on a 4th down catch, being pushed out at the 5. They eventually bring it up to the 1, and they reward the young man. 21-0. Evan Keck was just rolling. Brady Erb says, I want to get in on the fun. From 10 yards out, number 10 scrambles in to make it 28-0. And then Evan Keck adds on to number 4 from 7 yards out, 35-0. The Redskins take it, as the Redskins faithful are in good spirits here. And so is Paul Sadler. Paul?
Well, you know, obviously Wapak needs to be pleased with the result, but, you know, this is far from a perfect game. You know, they had too many mistakes that, you know, they can only point at themselves. You know, forget about, you know, holding calls, whatever. You know, they had a handful of false starts, lining up offsides, a couple personal foul penalties, unsportsmanlike conduct. Those are things that they need to get cleaned up, you know, if they're going to have a chance to be able to maybe win the Western Buckeye League and, you know, make some noise in the playoffs. You know, those are things that the other team is not causing. You know, that's something they have to control themselves. But in terms of just executing of football, you know, they look pretty good tonight.
Now it's time to take a look at our Merit Real Estate Professionals taking it to the house play of the game. Well, it wasn't a touchdown, but it was a heck of a move by Aaron Chambers. Look at that. Spinning past the Defiance defense, or the Celina defense, excuse me, and being brought down at the 1 yard line. It set up the final score of the game from Evan Keck. But as you mentioned, Paul, someone's been hitting the B button.
Yeah, like that was a sweet run. And we saw several, you know, very impressive runs tonight, and some of them called back for touchdowns. But still, an impressive night for the for the Redskins. And, you know, the Bulldogs, they got some things to work on going into next week.
Well, the Redskins will take on Defiance next week. The Bulldogs will head to Skip Bachman to take on the St. Mary's Rough Riders. That's exactly where you'll find us, the Battle of Grand Lake. You don't want to miss it. Final from Celina, 35-0. Wapak takes it over the Bulldogs. For all our guys in the truck, producer Todd Utrip, color commentator Paul Sadler, this is Eli Alvarez saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.